It's all come full circle for the Denver Broncos. With Denver set to take on the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round of the playoffs, that means that they will be going up against none other than Von Miller. I think it's super appropriate that the first time the Broncos are back in the playoffs since 2015, since Super Bowl 50 when Von Miller won Super Bowl MVP, it's appropriate that Von Miller is on the field when the Broncos are taking the field for the first time in the playoffs since then. It really is. Although I know we all wish that Von Miller would be in a Broncos uniform in this matchup as opposed to in a Bills uniform, there's going to be nothing but warm, positive vibes with Von in this game. After the game, you know that we're going to be dapping it up with Von, the few members of the Broncos who are still on the team when Von was there. But additionally, Broncos country, you know, is going to be giving Von nothing but love. I still have nothing but love for Von Miller. He was one of the players that drew me into really being a absolute crazy nut for this team to the point where I wanted to cover this team for a living. Von Miller is one of those guys for me that really made me fall in love with the game of football. And I gotta be honest, man, it's gonna be a little bit emotional going up against Von Miller in the playoffs, but it's also gonna be really cool. Von still associates himself with the Broncos heavily. He still says we when talking about the Broncos. I remember when the Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Buffalo Bills earlier in the year, Von Miller posted on Instagram, "I got you guys, Broncos country." He knew what that loss for Kansas City meant. He knew that that gave Denver a realistic chance to beat Kansas City in Week 18 to punch their ticket to the playoffs. And that is exactly what Denver did. It's going to be really cool, man, seeing Von. We've played against Von already last year when we went to Buffalo, so it's not going to be as emotional as it was last year, but still, I do think it's poetic and kind of appropriate that the first time the Denver Broncos are back in the playoffs, Von Miller will also be a part of the action. As far as Von Miller's role on the Buffalo Bills this year, he is not a starter for them. He is a rotational edge rusher that primarily comes in on third down pass rushing situations. He does have 6 sacks on the year, which is a lot better than last season when he was coming off of his torn ACL where he didn't record a single sack. He looked like he wasn't the old Von Miller again, and this year, although he's not prime 2015 to 2017 Von Miller, he's still an effective pass rusher that could give somebody like Mike McGlinchey trouble. Von Miller typically lines up against the right tackle. That was the case in Denver. That's been the case in Buffalo. So he's probably going to be going up mostly against Mike McGlinchey in this game. Again, on third down pass rushing situations, he's not a starter for them. Greg Rousseau, and I can't recall off the top of my head who their other starting edge rusher is, but Von Miller does come in rotational situations, and that's when we will see him. I do anticipate Von Miller to have a bit of a chip on his shoulder for this game. At the end of the day, the Broncos did trade away Von Miller, and he didn't want to go. He wanted to remain a Denver Bronco for life, and George Paton did right by him by trading him to Los Angeles, where he won a Super Bowl. Von then went and signed with Buffalo, where he had a chance to win another ring and has a chance this year to win another ring. But deep down, Von still is a Denver Bronco, and he wants to be a Denver Bronco. In fact, the Buffalo Bills might move on from Von Miller and his big contract this offseason. The Broncos do need some veteran rotational help on the edge rush unit. They do need maybe one more body there. I'm just saying that maybe Von Miller hasn't played his last snaps in a Denver Broncos uniform, but regardless, the Broncos are going to be going up against him in this game in the playoffs, and it's going to be really cool. All right, Broncos country, be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe to the channel, and until next time, guys, I'm your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.